Okay, cool. So welcome everybody. It's 5:30 Pacific on, I don't know, some day in some time zone somewhere in the world. I think it's May 4th. Oh, it's May 5th. Yep, I should know that. I just got back from another trip to Seoul, South Korea, working with the team out there for their first kind of big event, if you will. It's called ISA Founders, really exciting. And while that was happening there, many of you attended our ICU universities, whether it was in Atlantic City or in Vegas. So if you were at ICU this past weekend, just type in the chat box. If you were at ICU this past weekend, look at the chat box, or type in the chat box. The Millers are going, the Vegas crew's going crazy. They're jumping up and down. They're still at ICU, basically. They're basically at the ICU after party that just won't quit. That's where everybody is right now. So who knows what is happening in that house at this time, right? But one of the beautiful things about network marketing, guys, check it out. You get an incredible opportunity to build a community with your quote-unquote co-workers, if you will, fellow business owners. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Really awesome. You're just with people who dream what you dream and believe what you believe. It's definitely one of my favorite things about network marketing, and so awesome of you guys to have that pool party going on right now as a team bonding experience. So anyway, with that in mind, congratulations to those of you that went to ICU. For those of you guys that didn't go to ICU, next up is celebration. So now it's all eyes on celebration. All eyes on celebration. And so we've got May, June, July, really 90 days basically, right? Is that about right? We have about 90 days before celebration kicks off. The celebration lineup of trainers has been announced. It looks like a fantastic lineup that I'm excited to learn from. So if you haven't gotten your tickets already, get your tickets to celebration. And here's what I'll say about celebration and events from now on. And this is what I want you to really consider. What I want you to really consider is, somebody has logged in on, that's weird. Something I really want you to consider is this. If your job, if the place that pays you every single 2 weeks or every month, however they pay you, if your job said, hey, we have an event that is mandatory for you to go to so you can deepen your skills, get better at what we do, and really ingratiate yourself and ingrain yourself into the culture of our company. And oh, by the way, it's the only way you'll ever get a promotion is by going to this event. It's the only way you'll ever be considered for a promotion. If you want a good performance review at the end of the year, because we know you're really committed to the company, you'll go to the event in August. If you have any chance whatsoever at even a small raise in your pay, you'll go to this event. And most importantly, by the way, if you want to keep your job at this company, it's required that you go to this event. If those were the conditions around which you had an event in August for the job that you go to every single day, my bet would be that you'd find a way to be at that job. Just type in the chat box. How many of you agree with, under those conditions, you'd most likely find a way to get to Nashville, right, for that event? It wouldn't be a question. Now, odds are that a company, a traditional corporate company, are they going to pay for your trip to go to Nashville? They're not. So would it be an investment on your own? Of course. But Isagenix is saying, hey, we want to help you get to Nashville. We want to help you with your trip. So we just launched a brand new incentive to give away a couple of free nights at the event, right? So there's an incentive for you to get there, but it's very simple. If your job was on the line and it meant you continuing in your job or getting a promotion or getting a raise or whatever, you'd be at an event. And this, guys, is a profession. It's not, going to Nashville is a fun city to go to. Going to Vegas is great. Atlantic City, I'm sure it pops, right? Like, it's all fun. But ultimately, the one reason for you to get to an event is to get to an event from a continuing education perspective. Now, all eyes will be on celebration from this point forward. We will talk about celebration, I promise you, ad nauseum until the day that the event kicks off. So if you've not gotten your ticket yet, if you've not requested time off yet, if you haven't moved things around or started to move things around yet, now's the time to do it. And with that in mind, let's start to change gears and talk about tonight's content, if you will, for the next 20 minutes or so. May is the most important month of the year for your entire business. May is the most important month of the entire year for your business. Can anyone tell me why? Anyone tell me why May May is the most important month of the entire year for your business. That's right, Jamuna. It sets up your summer. May sets up your summer. And summer, by all accounts, can be, notice can be, the most challenging season in network marketing. It can be the slowest season in network marketing. It can be the season that makes or breaks the businesses of your newest members and their dreams. It can be the season where your cycles drop significantly, potentially, where enrollments dry up. It can be all those things. Or it can be where your business booms. It can be where you have more business than you know what to do with. It can be where you personally rank advance more than you've ever rank advanced. It can be where you personally rank advance more team members than you've ever personally rank advanced. It can be the season where you make more money than any other season during the year. And what determines that? What determines your summer is this month right now. What determines your summer is this month right now. Now just type in the chat box. How many of you would prefer to have a massive summer over a slow summer? Just type in the chat box. If you would like to have a massive summer, right, type in the chat box. Massive summer over a slow summer. You guys choose. It's your business. You get to choose. I have nothing to do with whether or not you have a huge summer or a slow summer. I have nothing to do with whether or not you have a mediocre summer. Nobody else on this call has anything to do with what kind of summer you have, except for you. You're the only person that decides whether or not you have a big summer. So why is summer such an important season? Because the potential slowdown effect, it puts you into one of two states, okay? Fall, traditionally speaking, if you look at company statistics, industry statistics, fall can be, traditionally speaking, it can be a good season for pretty much everyone. Fall is one of those seasons where, for the most part, you can throw a rock out the window and hit a deal. Okay, that's kind of the way you look at it in business terms. You can just walk up to a stranger on the street and they're going to say yes. Why is fall such a great season? Kids are back in school. Summer's over. People feel like they ate too much over the summer. They partied too hard, or they spent a bunch of money over the summer. So they're looking to make money. They're looking to make money as they go into the holiday seasons. They want to take a trip for the holidays, right? So fall becomes kind of this perfect storm, if you will. However, fall is really, really monstrous, beyond monstrous, especially coming out of a big event like Celebration. It is beyond what you know what to do with if you've had a great summer, because essentially summer can start to have you ticking up, and then you hit fall and you can spike in a huge way. And then if you spike in fall, knowing that potentially there's a little bit of a slowdown in winter in that season, guess what? Would you rather have your business plateau down here or plateau up here? Which would you prefer? Do you want it to plateau while it's a little bit low, or do you want it to plateau while it's high, right? It's kind of a rhetorical question. So can you see how right now, in this moment, you get to decide how you want the rest of your year to go? Do you want the car to already be kind of rolling when you start to push it for speed, or do you want it to be at a dead stop? Which do you prefer? And so that's really what you've got to start to look at. And so, look, a lot of you guys are coming off of an exciting weekend. Maybe some of you didn't go to the events, but you've had a lot going on this weekend, whatever it may be. When we get off this call tonight, or first thing tomorrow morning, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and I want you to write down some really clear intentions for the month of May. Some really clear intentions. Now, I think it was last week or the week before, Eric and Shannon trained on the leader in action formula. So maybe it's taking out the leader in action formula and setting your intentions for every category for every single week for the rest of the month. Because if you set an intention and you're focused on that intention and you're focused on the activities required to achieve that intention, what's most likely going to happen? What's most likely going to happen, right? So again, if I set an intention, I'm clear on my intention, and then I take the action steps necessary to achieve the intention, what's most likely going to happen for me? What's most likely going to happen? Am I going to achieve it or am I going to not achieve it? If you'll get there. It's very simple, right? It's like if I want to drive to Vegas right now and I type in the directions how to get to, if I type in Waze, get to, to Eric and Shannon's house, Waze is going to give me all the directions to get there. Just step by step. Here's exactly how you get there. And you have the blueprint, you have the directions on how to do this business. And part of the reason I'm not spending too much time on actual skills tonight is because a lot of you just spend an entire weekend with world-class trainers teaching you some of the skills. How many of you just type in the chat box, you feel like you know what you need to do? You feel like you know how to do it for the most part. Just type in the chat box. How many of you guys, I see most of the names on here. Like I'm familiar with almost all of your businesses, right? Like I see a lot of familiar names on here. How many of y'all feel like come on, let's just, at this point, how many of you would say, I know what to do. I know what to do. And if the answer is no, okay? If the answer is no, if the answer is that you don't know what to do, how many of you are really being advantageous of the resources that have been made available to you that can show you exactly how to do what we do? And what I'm talking about with that is the training site. How many of you guys, I know that apparently, Mandy and Sami, we asked them what some of their key takeaways from the weekend were, and they talked about duplication, right? And I think it was Emily Vaber talked about the importance of duplication. And how many of you guys know that we have a system that's been set up to show you exactly how to have your people duplicate, right? So the big question is, for the next 30 days of May, what are you going to be focused on? Type in the chat box. What is going to be your focus for the next 30 days? Not my focus, not your team's focus. What are you going to be focused on for the next 30 days? Type in the chat box. Okay, so setting yourself up for success, what does that mean? Utilizing the leader in action formula, duplication, hitting manager, you share, they share, repeat. Great, what else? Following up, getting the word out, right? What else? What are you gonna be focused on? Anybody from Vegas? There's like 100 of you guys out there. Don't slip on the floor, goes all the way up the floor, but feel free. Connecting with more people, being consistent, consistency in income producing activities every single day, okay? Being in action. So what does being in action mean, right? What does that even mean? So being in action, being consistent, like what does that mean? Tell me. What are you guys going to be focused on in your business for your freedom and your family and your legacy and your debt that you want to pay off and your ability to travel around the world and your ability to say yes to the people that you love and your ability to sit down in a restaurant and not worry about how much something is? What are your actions going to be? What do those mean? Okay, enrollment, right? Bringing team with you to celebration, rank advancing your team, growing your team, setting up your weeks with tons of calls filled with people who are open to taking a look. What else? And some of you aren't answering, and some of you aren't participating. And those of you that aren't answering and aren't participating, I just want to share something with you. And I love you enough to tell you this. How you play on these calls is how you're playing in your business. If you're not willing to participate in these calls, you're not really willing to participate in your life. You're not really willing to participate in your business, and that's okay. There are seasons for everything. But something I want to make crystal clear to you, crystal clear. Your actions are what equal your results. It's very simple. Action equals results. And so it's okay. It's okay if you're not in a season of activity. Fine with me. But you can't have both. Right? So you don't get to say, hey, my priorities and stuff are over here, but I feel like my results over here should be better. We don't we're not going to get to June or July and August, and your business is going to stay in the same spot. And we'll say, what did you do in May? Show me your activity for May. And you're going to say, well, I listened to a lot of podcasts. Okay. Cool. And you don't get to complain if your results in August are the same as they are right now. So for the month of May, at least make a decision as to what you want the rest of your year to look like. Because some of you, I guarantee it, some of you are going to show up at Celebration, just like some of you showed up at ICU, and I wasn't even there this weekend, but I'm doing this long enough to know. Some of you are going to show up and you're going to be frustrated with your businesses. You're going to be frustrated they're not as far along as you think they should be. You're going to be frustrated that not as many people are saying yes as you would hope for. You're going to be frustrated that no one on your, that you for whatever reason can't create consultants or rank advanced people or anything like that. You're going to be frustrated by those things. You're going to come into the event frustrated. And others of you are going to come in on fire. And what's fascinating to me, and it should be fascinating to you, is that all of you are afforded the exact same opportunity to come into that event however you want to come in. Now, for those of you guys that have been around for a while, there is nothing that feels better than coming into a big event with having recently rank advanced or developed some new people on your team. Nothing feels better. It feels good to walk into an event with momentum happening in your business. It feels hard to walk into an event when you see all these other people doing things. But again, if you come to me in August, and things aren't where you want them to be, I'm going to say, let's go back to that call on May 5th. Show me what you did through all of May. And then let's take an honest look in the mirror. And can we honestly say that you've done the things that were necessary for you to be coming into this event on fire? Which then begs the question, if May is so important, and if the results that I'm going to see 3 months from today, 90 days from today, are going to be reflected based on what I do this 1 month, then are you willing to take an honest look back 90 days and self-evaluate? And if you were to really look back on the last 90 days, last 30 days, last 30 minutes, how would you evaluate your own performance? See, what makes our business so unique and so special is that there is only one person in complete control of how much money you make, and that's you. You own your paycheck. However much money comes on your check on Mondays, however much Isogenics sends you, is exactly, listen to me, is exactly what you are saying you are worth. That one probably pissed some of you off a little bit. That one might have stung a little bit. I love you. But every Monday, Mondays are a reflection of your priorities. Mondays are a reflection of how bad you want this. Mondays are a reflection of where you're spending your time. Mondays are a reflection of whether or not you're stuck in criticism mode or complaining mode. Mondays are a reflection of whether or not you're caught up in drama or you're caught up in the doing. Mondays are a reflection of how you're doing all of this. Mondays are simply a reflection of your attitude and your activity every single day. And what's so cool about this, so cool about being a business owner, guys, is it's the opposite of the job world. If I didn't like my check, can I walk into my boss's office and be like, hey, you know what? I feel like, yeah, I understand this is the salary that you hired me at, or this is the hourly wage that I agreed to, but like, this just feels low to me this Friday. You know, it's Friday the 15th. This check, it's not enough for me. I don't feel like I can barely live on this. Could you just give me a 30% pay bump? Could you just give me a 30% increase on my money? What's the boss gonna do? They're gonna look at you and they're gonna think you're absolutely hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. But let's look at Isogenics. If I make $100, if I have a Monday paycheck that comes in, it's $100, right? And I want to give myself a 30% pay raise. Watch this. A 30% pay raise. That's $30 more, right? 30% is $30 more. Can we all agree on the math? Okay, so all I have to do then, get this, get the power of this. All I have to do to give myself a 30% pay raise the following week is to do everything I did the week before, plus enroll just one more person on a basic 30-day system for 25 more bucks. We'll round up. And you just gave yourself a 30% pay raise. Now imagine for a second that you make $100 on a Monday. You go, I want to make more money. You go to your boss, say, you know what? I want a 100% pay raise. And you decide, this week, I'm going to give myself a 100% pay raise. So I made $100 on Monday. Next week, I want a 100% pay raise. That means I got to do everything I did the previous week and enroll one value pack. and you've given yourself a 100% raise the following week, or four value, or four, or two, or two 30-day systems, or excuse me, or a couple of 30-day systems, or premium pack, however you want to do the math. But it's just one more conversation than you had the last week. It's one bit of extra effort, and you've given yourself 100% pay raise. How many of you just typed in the chat box would like to give yourself 100% pay raise? 100%, right? Vegas people are going nuts. They're like, yeah, 100% pay raise. That's like so many more shots at the bar. Are you kidding me? Right? Vegas people are feeling it. Also, shout out to Clay and Tiff, by the way, to go from Bali basically straight into ICU weekend. I know a lot of you guys move mountains, but I meant to recognize you guys for that. I know exhausting traveling from that side of the world is. I've done it twice in the last 50 days. So shout out to you guys for getting there. Good job. Congratulations on that. Anyway, but that's the focus it takes, guys. That's the dedication it takes. A 300% pay raise Elise wants to give herself, okay? So what's amazing about network marketing, guys, is you can give yourself a 100% pay raise, a 300% pay raise, 1,000% pay raise by the end of this month. You can increase this to whatever degree you want based on the focused, intentional, drama-free activity that you choose to take day in and day out. Whether you're building this in little pockets of your day, or you're building this for several hours a day or several hours a week, the degree to which your income will grow corresponds with the high leverage activities that you participate in. High leverage activities. So, for example, posting on Facebook, not a high leverage activity. It's good marketing. Spending all day doing Instagram stories, making tiles look beautiful, all that stuff important, yes, but not high leverage. Those are reactionary business tactics. Those are reactive. You're hoping that people react. If you want to give yourself 100% pay raise, 1,000% pay raise, if you want summer to be fluid, if you want summer to be hot, quite frankly, to be on fire the way summers can be, high leverage activity. High leverage activity. What are you focused on every single day? What are you going to be focused on every single day? Now, here's what's going to happen. A lot of you guys, maybe none of you guys, some of you guys, hopefully, are going to get really fired up from this call. If you're already a little bit fired up to make May huge, just go like this. If you're fired up to give yourself an increase, just go like this. If you're not fired up, just go like this. So I know that your hands work, go like this. So I know you're alive. At some point, guys, you got to look in the mirror and go, God, you know what? I'm alive. Maybe, just maybe, this is what I've been praying for. Maybe, just maybe, if I took a little bit more action on this business, maybe I'd have the kind of freedom that I see all these other people having. These same people that put their pants on right leg, left leg, or left leg, right leg. The same people that, by the way, P.S., also have life happening, also have every excuse under the sun, also have all kinds of distractions, also, and they're choosing activity instead of apathy. They're choosing activity instead of apathy. And some of you, not all of you, but some of you, get to wake up tomorrow morning and open your eyes and say, thank you, God, I'm alive. Thank you, God, or the universe, or whatever it is for you, for putting this vehicle in my life and opening the door and turning on the ignition and just driving it. And some of you that are already in the car get to stop pulling over on the side of the road every 5 minutes, asking for a new set of directions as though the first set of directions you've been given aren't right for some reason. And some of you who are already on the road driving down the highway, you get to pick up the pace a little bit and drive a little bit faster. And trust that you know how to navigate and negotiate through some of the lanes and through some of the challenges. And some others of you that are on the road driving, you get to stop driving like this, wondering what all the other cars are doing. Because every time you do that, guess what? Boom, you rear end somebody else and it stops you in your business. So which type of driver are you? How are you going to drive for May? What's it going to look like for you? Because we've been given this vehicle called Isogenics. And some of you, full action day in, day out consistently. I see it all the time. Some of you driving like this. Others of you driving like this, looking at the rearview mirror, so obsessed with what's happened in the past that you can't see through the windshield of what the future holds for you. And how do I know these things? Type in the chat box, how do I know that you are one of these types of drivers? How do I know that you are one of these types of drivers? Tell me. Because I've been all of them, correct? I've been every single one of those drivers. I've been every single one of those drivers. But the best way to drive this vehicle, the best way to do it, the best way to drive this vehicle is to get in the car, to turn on the engine, to get going, to find a speed that feels really good for you, and then to put it into cruise control and turn it on autopilot. And trust that the directions, the way that they're designed, are the right directions. That the speed at which you are going is perfect for you. That the vehicle of Isogenics is going to take you from where you are to where you deserve to be in your life. But you've got to decide what kind of driver you're going to be. You've got to decide what your vehicle looks like for you. You've got to decide every single waking hour of whether or not the actions you're going to take or are about to take, whether it be with the products or the opportunity or whatever, are in alignment with the things that you say that you want. And if you find yourself complaining about anything, if you find yourself complaining about anything, then change it. Because I promise you that if you can complain about it, you can change it. And if you're unwilling to change it, then I love you, but don't complain about it, at least not to me. At least not to the people on this call, at least not to the rest of the people in the community. You know why? Because like I said before, we're all on the freeway. We're all sitting in the same traffic from day to day. We all have detours. There are all road signs that say, do not go this way. We're all on the same road. It's just that some of us choose to navigate that road a little bit differently. What kind of driver are you going to be for the month of May? I just want you to focus on deciding what kind of driver you're going to be for the month of May. Day in and day out. Holding yourself to a degree of accountability, which I promise you, you've never held yourself to. Because at the end of the day, why is it most important? Why is it most important that you show up and drive this vehicle the way it deserves to be driven every single day? It's probably most important for the people in the back seat that are watching you. It also is important for the other drivers that came along the highway with you. That's why it's important. That's why it's important. So with that, it's 6:01, 9:01 on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys joining me this evening. And I'm really, 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 really excited to see all of you in August. And I'm really excited to see all of you in August and have all of you come up to me and say, here's where my business is at. And I'm going to say, tell me about what you did in May. And you're going to say, I drove that out of this. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great, great evening. Thanks for joining us.